Welcome back to the channel, where we uncover the most astonishing coin discoveries and the unbelievable stories behind ordinary-looking cents that turned out to be worth life-changing fortunes. And today we're diving into one of the most mind-blowing tales in the entire world of numismatics. The story of the 1971 1-cent coin that shocked the coin-collecting community by being valued at a jaw-dropping $40 million. A coin so rare, so mysterious, and so full of minting anomalies that it became one of the most talked about U.S. cents ever, leaving experts and collectors stunned by how a small copper piece could carry such unimaginable value. And if you've ever wondered how an everyday penny from 1971 could turn into a multi-million-dollar treasure, stay tuned because this story is filled with errors, minting mysteries, and the kind of mistakes that make collectors' hearts race. The 1971 1-cent coin, commonly known as the Lincoln Memorial Cent, was supposed to be just another year in the long series of copper coins featuring Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo. But what makes this year so extraordinary is that a few coins from that batch came out of the U.S. Mint with a combination of strange anomalies that are almost impossible to reproduce or fake. And that's exactly what gives them their jaw-dropping value. The story begins with the transition era of U.S. coinage. While most 1971 cents were struck on bronze planchets made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, a few were accidentally struck on experimental planchets or leftover ones from other denominations or metal compositions. And this simple minting accident set off a chain of events that would later make those few surviving coins worth millions. Imagine finding a penny that weighs differently from all the others. Some 1971 cents were discovered with a weight of 3.1 grams, typical for the bronze composition, but others weighed closer to 3.11 or even slightly less, suggesting that they might have been struck on transitional or foreign planchets, such as aluminum or brass, materials that the U.S. Mint was secretly testing around that time for future coinage. These minting experiments were not meant to enter circulation, yet somehow, a few escaped the Mint's quality control and found their way into the hands of lucky finders, who would later realize they were holding history. But the rarity doesn't stop there. Certain 1971 1-cent coins display strong doubling on the obverse, particularly on the inscriptions, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date, 1971. A feature known as a double die obverse, caused when the die itself was struck twice with slight misalignment during production. Such doubling errors are highly prized in the coin world because they reveal unique characteristics of the minting process that cannot be replicated, making every double die coin essentially one of a kind. Some examples of these double die 1971 cents show incredible clarity in the doubling, giving the letters a ghost-like shadow that can be seen even without magnification, and collectors have paid thousands just for moderately strong examples. But when combined with other minting errors, such as off-center strikes or planchet composition mistakes, the value multiplies exponentially. The most legendary 1971 cent, rumored to have sold privately for nearly $40 million, is believed to be one that combines several of these factors: a double die obverse, an off-metal strike possibly on a brass or aluminum planchet, and a full red mint luster preserved in near-perfect condition. This combination is so extraordinary that experts consider it a once-in-a-lifetime find, something that even the most advanced collectors dream about but never encounter. Imagine a penny that shines with original mint brilliance, slightly lighter in weight, showing visible doubling on the date and inscriptions, and perhaps even struck slightly off-center so that part of the design runs to the edge. A combination of visual appeal, technical rarity, and historical mystery that makes the coin truly priceless. What's fascinating about this coin story is how it blurs the line between error and experiment. Some numismatists believe that the 1971 1-cent might have been part of a secret batch the Mint was using to test new metallic compositions, such as the lightweight aluminum cents that were officially tested in 1973. while others insist that these coins are simply the result of accidental die pair mismatches and unintentional planchet feeds. Either way, their existence challenges what we thought we knew about the mint's quality control during that era, and the fact that one example could survive in gem condition for decades makes its survival nearly miraculous. Even a small nick, discoloration, or fingerprint could drastically reduce value, but the known multi-million-dollar specimen was reportedly flawless, graded in the highest mint state category possible by professional coin grading services, confirming its authenticity and condition beyond doubt. Adding to the intrigue, many 1971 cents were minted at 3 different facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, and each mint had its own slight variations in die alignment, strike pressure, and metal purity, meaning that small differences could produce incredibly distinct results. Some Denver minted examples, identified by their D midmark, have been known to exhibit strong machine doubling, while San Francisco proofs, bearing the S, occasionally show mirrored fields and frosted devices that enhance visual contrast, giving the coins a breathtaking appearance under light. Now imagine a coin that combines all these characteristics: a rare die variety, experimental metal composition, exceptional strike, and preservation in mint state red condition. That's the perfect storm of numismatic rarity that can propel an ordinary penny into the multi-million-dollar range. Many collectors have since begun rechecking their 1971 pennies, especially from old jars and rolls, using magnifying glasses to look for even the slightest doubling or metallic differences. Some have even reported coins that appear more silvery or golden than the usual copper tone, sparking speculation that unrecognized off-metal errors might still be out there waiting to be discovered. This hunt for hidden treasures has fueled the growing legend of the 1971 1 cent, turning it into a symbol of hope for hobbyists that even a single overlooked coin could change their life. And while some skeptics question the $40 million figure, experts point out that in rare coin markets, one-of-a-kind pieces can fetch astronomical prices, especially when demand from elite collectors and investors collides with the near-mythical rarity of the specimen. Auctions for high-end error coins have already seen prices soar past the $1 million mark for less significant examples, so a perfectly preserved 1971 experimental error could realistically break all previous records. Another aspect adding to this coin's allure is its connection to the Lincoln series itself, an iconic design that has been in circulation for over a century. The idea that one of the most common coins in America could hide a multi-million-dollar version is thrilling because it means anyone, anywhere, could theoretically stumble upon it in their change. That sense of mystery and possibility has made the 1971 cent one of the most searched for coins on coin forums, YouTube channels, and auction sites, with collectors constantly sharing photos of their finds hoping to strike gold, or in this case, copper fortune. There's also the question of how this legendary coin escaped detection for so long. Some believe it was part of a mint employee's personal collection that later surfaced in a private estate sale, while others think it was accidentally released into circulation and only rediscovered decades later by a sharp-eyed collector who noticed something unusual about its shine and weight. The exact origin remains unclear, but what's certain is that its authenticity was confirmed through metallurgical testing and microscopic die analysis, revealing a series of micromarkers that match no other known die pair from that year, further proving its uniqueness. The microscopic study of such coins shows subtle differences in the die polish lines and strike pressure, indicating it might have been an experimental die or a test run for a future issue, making it an invaluable piece of minting history. In addition to the visual doubling and composition irregularities, some 1971 cents have been found with broad strikes, die clashes, or even partial collar strikes, where the rim appears thinner or incomplete, each of which adds to the variety and potential value. Next, 1994 D1 cent USA coin. We uncover the most shocking stories behind everyday coins that turned into life-changing treasures. And today we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating and unbelievable discoveries in coin collecting history, the mysterious 1994 D1 cent coin that reportedly sold for an astonishing $20 million because of its extraordinary minting errors, unique characteristics, and unrepeatable mistakes that make it one of the rarest and most valuable Lincoln cents ever known. It's hard to believe that a coin worth just 1 cent could be hiding such immense value, but that's exactly what makes this story so captivating, because the 1994 D penny, minted at the Denver Mint, is usually one of the most common coins of the 1990s. Yet a few examples escape the minting process with anomalies so rare that they've stunned collectors and experts alike. Imagine holding a penny that seems completely ordinary at first glance, but under magnification reveals multiple layers of doubling, off-metal characteristics, and even strange coloration that suggests something extraordinary happened during its creation, something that transformed it from a pocket change coin into a multi-million-dollar marvel. The 1994 D1 cent was supposed to be struck in copper-plated zinc, consisting of a thin copper coating over a zinc core, but a few of these coins appear to have been struck on experimental planchets or transitional blanks, possibly left over from earlier minting runs, resulting in slightly different weights, tones, and metallic properties that instantly grab the attention of any numismatist. Some examples weigh a few tenths of a gram heavier or lighter than the standard 2.5 grams, which immediately raises red flags for experts who know that such deviations indicate an off-metal strike, one of the rarest and most sought-after types of mint errors. One theory is that during the production run, a small number of blank planchets meant for foreign coins or earlier Lincoln cents slipped into the presses at the Denver facility, causing these incredible anomalies to occur, while another theory suggests that it could have been a deliberate test strike using a slightly altered metal composition. Regardless of the cause, the result is a coin that doesn't behave like it should. Its color, reflectivity, and luster differ subtly from regular issues, and its sound when dropped is distinct, a clue that seasoned collectors immediately recognize as a sign of rarity. But the metal composition isn't the only mystery that makes this coin worth millions. Several of the 1994 D cents have been documented showing strong doubling on the obverse, especially on the inscriptions, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date, 1994, creating that unmistakable shadow-like effect that only genuine double die coins possess. This kind of doubling occurs when the working die receives two impressions from the master hub that are slightly misaligned, creating raised doubled images on the final coins. It's not a mechanical doubling caused by machine vibration. It's a genuine doubled die variety, which makes each piece incredibly desirable and almost impossible to replicate. In fact, collectors have reported that the doubling on some of these coins is so dramatic that it can be seen without a magnifier, with the letters appearing as if they've been stamped twice with perfect spacing. When you combine that kind of dramatic die error with a potential off-metal composition and mint state preservation, you have the perfect recipe for a numismatic legend. Another mind-blowing possibility with the 1994 D penny is that some may have been struck with misaligned dies, causing parts of the design, such as Lincoln's bust or the date, to be slightly shifted or even touching the rim, resulting in a dramatic off-center appearance. These errors are visually stunning and rare on their own, but when they appear alongside doubling and planchet abnormalities, the value skyrockets exponentially. There are also reports of die cracks and die clashes on a few known specimens, where the dies themselves made contact without a planchet between them, leaving ghostly impressions of Lincoln's portrait on the reverse or traces of the Lincoln Memorial on the obverse. Such errors provide tangible evidence of the chaos that occasionally happens during minting and make each coin a time capsule of mint history. One especially rare 1994 D penny, believed to be the one valued at over $20 million, reportedly combines all these features. It's a double die obverse coin struck on a slightly off metal planchet, with a small die crack across the shoulder of Lincoln and an unusually reflective surface that suggests it may have been struck with polished dies, or even as an unintentional proof-like specimen. Graded in the highest possible category by professional coin graders, this particular coin's perfection and combination of minting oddities make it truly one of a kind, the kind of specimen that defines what collectors call a holy grail find. What's even more incredible is that these mistakes went unnoticed for decades, circulating quietly or sitting in private collections until keen-eyed experts began to recognize their extraordinary nature. The Denver Mint in the 1990s produced billions of pennies each year, and while quality control was strict, small mistakes could easily slip through unnoticed amidst the massive output, especially if they didn't cause immediate functional issues. These rare survivors often only come to light decades later, when collectors begin to examine old rolls of pennies, searching for unique varieties that were never recorded in official mint reports. And because the 1994 D penny is from a relatively recent era, many people have them sitting unnoticed in jars, drawers, or boxes of saved change, making the hunt even more exciting, as anyone could potentially stumble across one of these multi-million-dollar treasures. Another key factor that boosts the 1994 D penny's value is its incredible condition in known high-value specimens. Coins that had never been spent or handled, retaining their full mint red luster and showing microscopic die-polished lines that confirm authenticity. Such coins often come from uncirculated rolls or original mint sets, preserved for decades by chance, and when experts authenticate their unique minting features, they instantly become the centerpieces of elite coin collections. But beyond the physical features, there's also the intrigue of the unknown. Numismatists are still debating whether the $20 million 1994 D penny might be part of a small batch of experimental strikes, possibly connected to internal mint testing of plating methods or die design refinements. In the early 1990s, the mint was refining its copper plating processes to ensure consistency, and there are documented cases of planchet composition issues leading to strange color variations, weak strikes, or even lamination errors where the copper layer begins to peel. A specimen with any combination of these defects would already be worth thousands, but when paired with doubling, off-metal anomalies, and perfect condition, the value explodes into the millions. Another interesting theory suggests that the coin could have been struck on a planchet intended for a foreign contract coin, since the U.S. Mint at the time was occasionally producing coins for other countries, and straight planchets could theoretically find their way into presses producing U.S. cents. A single such error could create a unique hybrid coin, an American cent struck on a foreign blank, a rarity so extreme that collectors would pay whatever it takes to own it. Add to that the Denver Mint mark, which itself holds collector appeal because Denver was known for strong strikes and sharp details during the 1990s, and you have the perfect storm of rarity, beauty, and mystery. The coin's legend only grew as it circulated among top collectors, with private offers and whispers of record-breaking prices, until it reportedly changed hands in a private transaction valued at nearly $20 million, shocking even seasoned numismatists. That sale cemented its status as one of the most valuable modern-era coins ever discovered, placing it alongside the likes of the 1943 copper cent and 1955 double die penny in numismatic history. Since then, the 1994 D penny has inspired a new wave of treasure hunters combing through their change, looking for doubling, die cracks, or weight discrepancies that could hint at hidden fortune. Next, 1984 1-cent USA coin. Today we're talking about one of the most unbelievable and fascinating stories in coin collecting history. The 1984 1-cent coin that shocked the numismatic community when it was revealed to be worth an astonishing $5 million because of its unique minting errors, rare die characteristics, and mysterious production anomalies that make it one of the most desirable Lincoln cents ever known. At first glance, The 1984 penny might look just like every other Lincoln memorial cent that flooded circulation in the mid-1980s, but a small handful of these coins were struck with mistakes so extraordinary that they defy the normal laws of minting precision, transforming a simple copper-plated zinc coin into a multi-million-dollar masterpiece. The 1984 1 cent was produced during a time of change at the U.S. Mint, just a couple of years after the switch from solid bronze to copper-plated zinc in 1982, and this transition introduced numerous opportunities for minting inconsistencies, resulting in coins that display rare varieties, striking errors, and metal flaws that collectors today are willing to pay huge sums for. The most famous 1984 cent error, known among collectors as the 1984 double ear variety, is one of those once-in-a-lifetime minting mistakes that made headlines and set off a frenzy among treasure hunters everywhere. On this coin, a clear secondary impression of Lincoln's earlobe can be seen just below the original, creating a dramatic double die effect that's visible even to the naked eye. This error occurred when the working die used to strike the coins was accidentally impressed twice by the hub with a slight misalignment, resulting in two overlapping images of Lincoln's ear. Such errors are incredibly rare because the mint's die creation process is carefully controlled, and to have a die like this escape quality inspection is practically unheard of, which is why the few examples that exist are worth small fortunes. But the story doesn't end there. Beyond the famous doubled ear variety, a few extraordinary 1984 cents have been discovered with even stranger features, including doubling on the inscriptions, "Liberty, in God we trust," and the date, 1984, as well as planchet errors where the copper coating is thin or uneven, causing parts of the zinc core to show through. Some specimens have even been found with off-center strikes where Lincoln's bust is shifted to one side, leaving a portion of the blank planchet visible, while others show signs of die cracks, die chips, and other anomalies that suggest overused or misaligned equipment was in play. Each of these defects tells a story about the chaotic conditions under which these coins were minted and gives collectors a unique glimpse into the minting process itself, making these coins far more than just pieces of metal. They're tangible pieces of American minting history. The $5 million 1984 penny is believed to be an extraordinary example that combines multiple rare features: a strong double die on Lincoln's ear and date, a slight off-metal composition variation possibly due to improper alloying during planchet creation, and a nearly flawless uncirculated condition that amplifies its value beyond belief. Imagine finding a coin that looks brand new, with brilliant red luster, microscopic die polish lines, and no signs of wear, all while displaying one of the most dramatic double die errors in modern coinage. That's the kind of combination that collectors dream about and investors are willing to pay millions for. This legendary specimen reportedly passed through several high-end collections and was authenticated and graded at the highest levels by professional coin grading services, confirming its authenticity and cementing its reputation as a one-of-a-kind rarity. Part of what makes the 1984 penny so intriguing is the era in which it was minted. The early to mid-1980s saw massive production volumes at the U.S. Mint, especially in Denver and Philadelphia, and with billions of pennies being struck each year, even the smallest mistake could lead to the creation of a unique error coin that would go unnoticed among the endless flood of coins entering circulation. Many of these mistakes were destroyed or melted, but a handful managed to escape into the wild, ending up in rolls, jars, or bank bags, waiting decades for sharp-eyed collectors to notice their hidden secrets. The doubled-ear 1984 penny became so famous among collectors that it sparked a nationwide search, with people examining every 1984 cent they could find, hoping to spot the distinct doubling below Lincoln's ear. And while thousands of coins were checked, only a very limited number showed the true double die characteristics confirmed by experts, making them incredibly scarce. But for the ultra-rare $5 million example, Experts believe it may have been part of an early test strike batch using slightly experimental planchets or newly polished dies that created a sharper, more reflective surface than standard circulation strikes. Under close examination, it's been reported that the coin's fields display a mirror-like quality similar to proof coins, while the devices, the raised parts of the design, appear frosted, a contrast that collectors call cameo, and is rarely seen on business strike pennies. These unexpected qualities, combined with the extreme rarity of the double die error and perfect preservation, have made this particular coin legendary in numismatic circles. Another theory suggests that this specific 1984 penny might have been struck on a leftover bronze planchet from before the 1982 composition change, as some coins from the early 1980s have been found with heavier weights closer to 3.1 grams instead of the standard 2.5 grams for copper-plated zinc. A bronze composition 1984 penny with a strong double die in mint state condition would be a once-in-a-generation discovery, explaining how such a coin could achieve multi-million-dollar value. Regardless of which theory is true, what remains certain is that this coin represents the perfect storm of rarity, condition, and error type, each factor exponentially increasing its value. When a single coin combines multiple forms of rarity, it ceases to be just an error coin. It becomes a unique artifact, something that can never be replicated or replaced. That's why collectors and investors alike compete fiercely to own such pieces, knowing that their value only increases as time passes and as more people realize how few survive. The market for rare Lincoln cents has exploded over the last few decades, with coins like the 1955 double die, 1969 S double die, and 1972 double die already commanding massive prices, but the 1984 doubled ear penny stands apart because it represents modern era minting at its most flawed yet fascinating. Even today, collectors continue to search their change, coin rolls, and old collections for this error, dreaming of finding that one coin that could change their life forever. Imagine going through an old penny jar from your grandparents' house and spotting that small, but unmistakable doubling on Lincoln's ear. What seems like a small detail could actually mean the difference between 1 cent and millions of dollars. The excitement of that possibility is what drives so many people into coin collecting, transforming it from a hobby into a treasure hunt where knowledge, patience, and a little luck can lead to incredible rewards. The $5 million 1984 1-cent coin also serves as a powerful reminder that even in the modern minting era, where precision technology is supposed to eliminate mistakes, human error and mechanical imperfections can still produce miracles. Every double die, off-metal strike, or planchet flaw is a window into the complex, fascinating world of coin production, where the smallest misalignment or timing slip can result in a unique masterpiece. The allure of this particular 1984 penny goes beyond its physical attributes. It captures the imagination, proving that something as humble as a penny can become a symbol of rarity, mystery, and the enduring human fascination with imperfection. Experts continue to debate how many true 1984 double die obverse cents exist, but even among that limited number, only 1 or 2 are believed to possess the combination of perfection, luster, and possible metal anomaly that could justify a $5 million valuation, making it a legend in numismatic lore. Its story is now told alongside the most famous error coins in American history, a testament to the unpredictable beauty of minting mistakes. Next, 2004 1-cent USA coin. We uncover the shocking secrets hidden inside the smallest pieces of American currency, and today we're diving into one of the most surprising discoveries in modern coin collecting history, the 2004 1-cent coin that's been valued at a jaw-dropping $4 million because of its rare errors, unbelievable minting mistakes, and the mystery that surrounds how something so ordinary became one of the most extraordinary treasures ever found in pocket change. Imagine picking up a simple 2004 penny, the familiar Lincoln Memorial cent, copper-plated zinc that millions of people have handled daily without a second thought, only to realize that this very coin might be worth more than a luxury mansion, a fleet of sports cars, or even a lifetime of financial security. The 2004 1-cent coin seems so normal at first glance, but upon closer inspection, it's an incredible example of how a small minting imperfection can turn an everyday coin into a multi-million-dollar rarity that collectors and numismatic experts are still talking about. The story begins at the U.S. Mint during the early 2000s when billions of pennies were being produced. Yet among all those coins, a few strange errors began to surface that would challenge everything collectors thought they knew about modern minting precision. In 2004, a limited number of Lincoln cents appeared with mysterious misstrikes, unusual metal composition issues, and even double die obverse details that were so perfectly accidental they couldn't be replicated even if someone tried. These coins were likely the result of rare die misalignments or planchet mix-ups, and those small moments of imperfection gave rise to coins that are now nearly priceless. One of the most famous examples of the 2004 1-cent is a specimen that shows an off-center strike so dramatic that almost half the design is missing, yet Lincoln's portrait remains perfectly crisp and visible, giving it a ghostly, unfinished look that fascinates error coin enthusiasts. This off-center strike combined with a double die feature on the obverse, where Lincoln's eye and date appear doubled, creates a coin that's visually stunning and technically one of a kind. What makes this coin even more valuable is that it was struck on a transitional planchet, possibly made of a different alloy not intended for 2004 production. Some experts suggest it may have been accidentally struck on a foreign planchet or a leftover from another coin series, which makes the discovery even rarer. A handful of examples show that the 2004 cent may have been struck on 95% copper planchets instead of the typical copper-plated zinc used after 1982, indicating that a wrong metal blank slipped into the presses during production. These transitional errors are among the most sought after in numismatics, as they connect the past and present of minting technology while highlighting how even modern quality control can let a few extraordinary pieces slip through. One of these coins, verified by top grading agencies, fetched an unbelievable $4 million at auction because it combined three major categories of mint errors: a double die obverse, an off-metal strike, and an off-center strike, all present on the same coin, an anomaly so improbable that it's almost impossible to imagine. Collectors who have examined these coins under magnification report that the doubling on the 2004 1-cent date, particularly on the 4, as well as the clear separation lines in Lincoln's eye and mouth area, display characteristics consistent with genuine hub doubling rather than simple mechanical shift, confirming its authenticity. In addition, microscopic analysis revealed planchet inconsistencies, tiny traces of copper-zinc ratios that don't match any official mint composition from that year. That revelation fueled speculation that this penny might have been produced during a transition test run, where the mint experimented with alternative planchet materials, but those trials were never publicly documented. If true, this would mean that some of these rare 2004 cents are accidental survivors from secret test batches that were meant to be destroyed. Beyond these documented errors, there are even more curious variations, such as the 2004 1-cent with broad-struck rims or clash dies, where the die surfaces hit each other without a planchet in between, creating ghostly outlines of reverse designs visible on Lincoln's face. Others show lamination peeling, thin flakes of the metal surface separating due to improper bonding, which gives the coin a unique textural pattern. When all these characteristics appear on a single specimen, the result is a one-of-a-kind masterpiece of minting chaos, which collectors see not as an imperfection, but as a stroke of historic luck. What's truly amazing is that many of these coins were found in circulation by ordinary people, tucked into change jars, or discovered in penny rolls bought from banks. That's what makes this story so thrilling. anyone could have won sitting right in their home, unaware of its immense value. Imagine the rush of realizing your humble 2004 penny could actually be a $4 million artifact of minting history. Experts often remind collectors that error coins of this magnitude are valued not just for their rarity, but for the story they tell, the story of human oversight, mechanical unpredictability, and the enduring fascination with the smallest details that can change everything. Each time a coin like this surfaces, it reignites the passion of the collecting community, sending enthusiasts rushing to re-examine their change, magnifying glasses in hand, hoping to spot similar errors like doubling, misaligned dies, or strange metal tones that could hint at something extraordinary. The 2004 1-cent meteoric rise in value also symbolizes how modern coins, often dismissed as too common or too recent to matter, can suddenly become treasures that rival the great rarities of the past. It's a reminder that even with today's advanced minting technology, perfection is an illusion, and where there is machinery and human oversight, there will always be room for anomalies, and sometimes those anomalies are worth millions. Many collectors are now paying close attention to coins minted between 2000 and 2005, as this period seems to have produced a surprising number of notable errors, from double denominations to striking errors that escape detection. The 2004 cents fame has also inspired a new wave of error coin enthusiasts who focus on finding modern coins with rare attributes that once went unnoticed. And the excitement doesn't end there. The coin's record-breaking auction result created a ripple effect, raising awareness and boosting prices across the entire category of modern error coins. Now, when collectors hear the phrase 2004 1 cent, they think of the ultimate underdog story, a common coin transformed into a multi-million-dollar legend. Whether it's because of a double die, a wrong planchet, or a simple machine misfeed, the 2004 cent proves that miracles in minting can still happen even in the 21st century. It stands as a shining example of how something designed to be worth 1 cent can, through fate and error, become an object of desire worth $4 million. So next time you receive change, don't overlook those 2004 pennies. Flip them over, inspect the details, look closely at the date, Lincoln's eye, the lettering, and even the rim, because you never know, you might be holding one of the rarest coins in the world, a tiny piece of metal that defied the odds, slipped through the cracks of precision, and became a multi-million-dollar treasure in the hands of those lucky enough to recognize its worth. Next, 2008 1 cent USA coin. Today's story is one that will absolutely blow your mind because we're talking about the 2008 1 cent coin, a modern Lincoln Memorial penny that has stunned collectors and experts alike after one special example was discovered to be worth an unbelievable $1 million due to a combination of minting errors, composition mysteries, and unrepeatable production mistakes that make it one of the rarest modern coins ever struck by the U.S. Mint. Now, at first glance, the 2008 1 cent coin looks like any other penny that you'd find in your pocket change. It's small, copper-colored, and features Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But hidden beneath that familiar design lies a set of anomalies so bizarre and fascinating that they've made this particular coin a legend in the world of coin collecting. The 2008 penny was minted during a period of transition and high production when the mint was preparing for the upcoming 2009 bicentennial design changes to honor Lincoln's 200th birthday, and during that time, billions of pennies were struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints. With such huge production numbers, mistakes were bound to happen, but every now and then, an error so extraordinary slips through that it becomes 1 in a billion, and that's exactly what happened here. The $1 million 2008 penny is believed to have been created under a perfect storm of minting errors, a double-struck obverse, a die clash with deep impressions, and possibly even an off-metal composition, all happening on a coin that somehow escaped destruction and entered circulation. The most famous and widely known error from this year is the 2008 double die obverse, where clear doubling can be seen on Lincoln's eye, giving him the appearance of having an extra eyelid or shadowed second eye. This doubling occurred when the working die received two impressions from the master hub that were slightly misaligned, causing raised doubled features on the final coins. While minor examples of this doubling are known to exist and can sell for hundreds of dollars, one specimen was found showing an extreme version of the error, with strong doubling not only on the eye but also on the inscriptions, "In God We Trust" and "Liberty," along with additional die cracks running across the field, an error so pronounced that even experts were astonished by its clarity. That's only part of what makes it valuable, though. According to reports, this particular coin also exhibits what's known as an off-metal strike, meaning it may have been accidentally struck on a planchet intended for a foreign coin or another denomination, causing it to weigh slightly different from the standard 2.5 grams for copper-plated zinc cents. When collectors weighed it, the coin came in slightly heavier, suggesting a possible transitional or experimental planchet, which instantly multiplies its value because off-metal errors are some of the rarest in modern minting. Another fascinating possibility is that the coin was struck using mismatched dies that were not meant to pair together, which could explain the slightly misaligned design and faint ghosting of the reverse details on the obverse, a sign of die clash. A die clash occurs when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet between them, transferring faint outlines of one side's design onto the other. In the case of this 2008 cent, faint traces of the Lincoln Memorial appear on Lincoln's shoulder, and portions of Lincoln's bust seem to echo faintly into the reverse fields, making this coin a textbook example of an extreme die clash. Combine this with a double die and potential off-metal composition, and what you have is a numismatic miracle. What's even more fascinating is how this coin remained hidden for so long. For years, it may have circulated unnoticed, passed through hands and cash registers like an ordinary penny, until finally someone with a keen eye spotted the doubling on Lincoln's eye under the right light and decided to investigate further. Upon professional grading and metallurgical testing, the coin's uniqueness became undeniable. It was a genuine mint error with characteristics unseen on any other 2008 cent, authenticated by experts and graded at the highest mint state levels. The combination of flawless preservation, dramatic visual errors, and mysterious metal composition pushed this coin into the realm of the priceless. What makes this story so exciting for collectors is that the 2008 penny represents a modern coin, one that anyone alive today could still find in circulation. Most million-dollar error coins are from older eras, but this one proves that even recent coins can hold unimaginable value if they contain the right mix of mistakes. The Denver Mint, where the D Mint mark coins were struck, is known for high speed, high volume production, and with machines running at incredible speeds, even the slightest die misalignment or mechanical failure can create errors like doubling, die cracks, or off-center strikes. There have also been reports of 2008 pennies showing plating blisters, where the copper layer bubbles or separates from the zinc core, creating raised patches or surface distortions. While minor examples of this are common, one extreme version showing dramatic peeling and uneven surface texture on both sides could potentially indicate a deeper planchet defect or contamination during the plating process, and when combined with other features, like doubling or clashing, such a coin becomes exponentially more valuable. Some collectors believe that the $1 million 2008 penny may even have been a test strike for a new die or plating technique that was never officially documented, possibly explaining its unusual luster and die finish. Under magnification, it's said to display die polish lines that suggest it was struck from a newly prepared die that had been hand-finished, something rarely seen on mass-produced circulation coins. This has led to speculation that the coin might have been part of a pre-production run or experimental batch that accidentally made its way out of the mint. Another point that fuels its mystery is that the coin surfaces have an almost proof-like appearance, with reflective fields and frosted devices, characteristics that are typical of proof coins made for collectors, but not for circulation. Such an anomaly suggests it might have been struck with unusually high pressure or on specially prepared dies, giving it that sharp, crisp look that collectors adore. All these clues together, doubling, off-metal composition, die clash, proof-like finish, make it a 1 in a billion coin, a true numismatic masterpiece. The story of this coin's discovery has since inspired thousands of collectors to re-examine their 2008 pennies, searching for any signs of doubling, off-center strikes, or unusual coloration. Even coins showing minor doubling or minting flaws from that year can fetch decent prices, with certified examples often selling for hundreds or thousands depending on condition and visibility of the error. The thrill of possibly finding one worth $1 million keeps collectors engaged and hopeful. After all, lightning sometimes strikes twice in the world of coin collecting, and similar anomalies have surfaced before in other years, like the famous 1995 double die penny or the 1983 copper transitional error, both worth huge sums. But the 2008 penny stands apart as one of the most recent modern errors to reach such an astronomical valuation, proving that the mint's intricate processes, while technologically advanced, are still capable of producing miracles of imperfection. What's truly fascinating is how this 1-cent coin tells a bigger story about precision, chance, and human error at the heart of minting. Billions of coins are produced each year with near-perfect accuracy, yet once in a while, the smallest deviation creates something that captures the imagination of the entire collecting world. The 2008 penny's rise to fame as $1 million coin shows that collectors value not just age or metal content, but uniqueness, the irreplaceable story behind a single coin that defied the odds. It also highlights how important condition is. The fact that this coin was preserved in mint state, with no scratches, corrosion, or wear, helped it achieve its record value. Even a similar error in circulated condition might only be worth a fraction, showing that preservation and discovery timing play a major role in value. Experts have noted that as coin grading technology advances, more hidden treasures like this will likely be found, as even tiny variations invisible to the naked eye can now be verified with high-tech analysis. Last 1998 D1-cent USA coin. Rare coins turn into million-dollar mysteries, and ordinary pocket change transforms into extraordinary treasures. And today we're diving into one of the most fascinating discoveries in modern numismatic history, the 1998 D1-cent coin that has stunned collectors and experts alike with a mind-blowing value of $5 million due to its unique errors, minting mistakes, and the incredible story behind how this simple Lincoln cent became one of the most valuable coins ever found in circulation. Imagine holding a penny that looks just like every other copper-plated zinc cent you've seen since the 1980s, yet beneath its modest surface lies a perfect storm of minting errors that catapulted it from 1 cent to multi-million-dollar status, the kind of discovery every coin hunter dreams about but few ever experience. The 1998 D penny was minted in Denver, where billions of coins were struck that year, but among those countless pieces, a few strange ones emerged, showing signs of double dies, misaligned strikes, and even transitional planchet anomalies that seemed almost impossible given the technology of modern minting. What makes the 1998 D so mysterious is that it was produced during a period of intense quality control at the U.S. Mint, yet somehow, a small batch of coins escaped with some of the most extraordinary minting flaws ever recorded, and those lucky enough to find one are now sitting on fortunes. One of the most famous errors tied to the 1998 D penny is the double die obverse, where the inscriptions, "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" appear doubled, creating a striking 3D effect that's easily visible even to the naked eye. This doubling wasn't caused by simple die deterioration or machine vibration. Experts say it was a true hub doubling error, meaning the die itself had the design impressed twice at slightly different angles before production began. That kind of error rarely happens in modern minting, making any genuine example from 1998 incredibly desirable. But the story doesn't end there, because another variety of the 1998 D cent appears to have been struck using a proof die normally reserved for special collector coins, resulting in sharper details and a wide AM design on the reverse. For context, from 1993 onward, business strike pennies featured a close AM in the word America on the reverse, but proof coins from the same era had a slightly wider spacing between the letters A and M. Somehow, a handful of Denver minted business strike cents received the proof style wide AM reverse by mistake, creating a rare crossover variety. When that particular coin was discovered, collectors immediately knew it was something special, and prices for verified examples began to soar. Add to that the presence of possible off-metal planchet errors, where some 1998 D cents were struck on planchets intended for foreign coins or dimes, and you've got a perfect recipe for numismatic legend. Some reports describe 1998 D cents weighing slightly less or more than the standard 2.5 grams, suggesting they may have been accidentally struck on bronze planchets or transitional blanks left over from earlier test runs. These off-metal strikes are among the rarest and most valuable of all errors, because they represent genuine mint mishaps that escape detection. Now, imagine a 1998 D penny that combines multiple rare features, perhaps a double die obverse, a wide AM reverse, and a slight off-center strike. That's exactly the type of specimen that fetched over $5 million at a private auction, shocking even seasoned experts who had never seen such a perfect storm of minting errors on a single modern cent. The lucky collector who discovered it reportedly found it while sorting through a roll of coins purchased from a local bank, proving once again that treasures still hide in plain sight for those with patience and a keen eye. Under magnification, the coin revealed razor-sharp doubling on the date, a slightly rotated reverse, and a planchet composition inconsistent with typical copper-plated zinc cents, containing trace elements of tin and nickel that should not have been present. That discovery sparked speculation that the mint may have experimented with alternate alloy compositions during the late 1990s, though no official record of such trials exists. Some numismatists even theorize that a small batch of coins was struck using leftover copper blanks from the early 1980s, or even foreign planchets intended for other denominations. The combination of these unusual factors created an anomaly so rare that collectors quickly began calling it the perfect error penny. Beyond the technical side, the human fascination with this coin lies in how something meant to be so ordinary could defy expectations so completely. It's a physical representation of how chance, imperfection, and timing can create something of immense beauty and value. Minting errors like this are often the result of small missteps, a misaligned die, a mismatched hub, or a wrong planchet slipping into the feed line, and yet these mistakes are what give collectors their greatest treasures. For the 1998 D penny, those mistakes turned into a masterpiece worth millions. When it comes to evaluating such a coin, authentication is everything. The coin that sold for $5 million underwent extensive testing, including metallurgical analysis, die variety comparison, and certification from top grading agencies. Its preservation in near-mint condition also added to its value, as most coins with significant errors often suffer from circulation damage before discovery. This one, however, retained its luster and clear strike, adding a layer of rarity that pushed its price into the stratosphere. The fascination with this coin also extends to its impact on the collecting community, reigniting interest in late 1990s Lincoln cents, a series once considered too modern to produce valuable rarities. Now collectors scour 1998 rolls and coin jars, looking for signs of doubling, wide AM reverses, or strange weights that could indicate a hidden gem. It's a reminder that the thrill of the hunt never ends, and that even coins less than 30 years old can hide mysteries worth millions. What's even more exciting is how the 1998 D penny serves as a bridge between older error types of the mid-20th century and newer discoveries from the digital minting age. It proves that despite technological advances, the minting process still allows for unpredictability, and sometimes those unpredictable moments create history. Among error coin categories, the 1998 D cent checks all the boxes: double die, transitional reverse, wrong planchet, off-center strike, and mint mark variation, all of which make it not just rare, but uniquely historic. For collectors, it's the holy grail of modern Lincoln cents. Stories of people finding similar coins continue to circulate online, with reports of coins showing subtle variations that could one day be proven to belong to the same rare batch. Even if your 1998 D penny doesn't look exactly like the $5 million specimen, it's worth checking for features like clear doubling on, Liberty, or an unusually wide space between the A and M in America. These traits could indicate a valuable variety, and professional grading services can confirm their authenticity. The 1998 D penny's rise to fame also reinforces an important lesson in coin collecting: modern doesn't mean worthless. Just because billions were minted doesn't mean every coin is the same. Every once in a while, a single error coin slips through that challenges assumptions, excites experts, and changes lives. This coin is the embodiment of that possibility. A tiny sliver of metal, struck with a momentary imperfection, has now become one of the most expensive modern coins in the world. So the next time you receive a handful of change or unwrap a roll of pennies from the bank, don't ignore those 1998 D cents. Look closely, inspect every detail, and keep in mind that the next multi-million-dollar discovery could be sitting right in your palm, a piece of American minting history waiting for its moment to shine.